Good morning and welcome to BHS. For those of you that join us here every first and third Thursday, welcome back. My name's Anthony Pritchard. I'm your host. And for those of you that are just joining us, this is a place to come and connect and commit to yourself. A time every other week where you're dedicated to personal and professional development. We invite all of the best inspirational and motivational speakers from around the world to come and be our guests here at BHS. And today I'm excited to have Rick Finbow. But before we jump into his presentation, I just want to bring on our licensed prayer practitioner, Dee Dee Rockwell, to pray us in. Oh, Dee Dee, I'm not sure if I'm hearing you.
I got
there you
it.
are. I hear you now.
Good morning on this snowy day. Welcome and thank you, Anthony. I'll just invite us all to drop into this moment, this absolute now. Releasing any thoughts of yesterday, forgetting any thoughts of the future as well. Just letting all of that fall away and giving yourself the gift of this clarity, of this message, listening to the ideas of the future, which have come through in song and in voice for many, many years. For we are here at this time to come together to share in our missions of love, in our connections, and our service to all that we meet and we greet. And I just know that we hear with our hearts on our ears, giving ourselves the gift of presence of this time. And I just release this into the law that is always functioning around us, just as sure as the sun will rise or the snow will fall to the earth. We are here together, rising up. And I release this knowing that it is already so. And so it is.
Oops, sorry, Jocelyn. Thank you, Dee Dee. I really appreciate you being our prayer practitioner. We've had a little tossing back and forth. And I should mention our moderator, Jocelyn Bellows, is helping us this morning. So if you're new to BHS, I want to invite you and introduce you to our mission, which is to empower business professionals to be successful through education, connection, and spiritual principles. And we've been doing this here for 40 plus years. So it's shown that it's proven to be a viable place to develop your own business. These spiritual principles work the same way in your business as they do in your life. And our guest speaker today has been performing psychic readings professionally for over 40 years. He's featured at many conventions and metaphysical fairs, including Atlanta's Whole Life Fair, the Las Vegas Renaissance Festival, and many psychic fairs here in Denver. Rick says, I believe we create our own destiny, and it all starts with our subconscious mind. I can help you tap into that consciousness and find out if you're on the right path with where and whom you want to be. Rick has chosen to develop his God-given talents to help others, and he will help you to clarify and understand what blocks and drives you to achieve the life you choose to lead, where you need to focus to get what you really want out of life. He's helped many clients achieve their dreams and goals. Please help me welcome today our guest speaker, Rick Finbow.
Hi there. Thank you.
You're welcome. As I was preparing for this broadcast, I found another image of you, and I was wondering if you might help us explain, what have you learned about being a psychic from back then to now?
So this was taken in the 1990s.
Oh.
In 1993, I think that shot was taken, my headshot. I was a flight attendant for Frontier Airlines at the time. And I just have to laugh at that mustache and everything.
It was a sign of the times.
It was a sign of the time. So that was like my pilot look, I guess. I won't say my porn look because it does look like that now, but back then it didn't. It didn't to me anyway. At that time, I was a flight attendant for Frontier Airlines, and I was doing readings for all the flight attendants and the pilots on my layovers and everything, because I've always done this. Even when I've tried to do something else, it's always come back to what I do as being a psychic and reading the tarot cards. So thank you for bringing that wonderful picture up, Anthony.
I thought it was a good icebreaker.
Yes, it is a good icebreaker. Makes me laugh. So, and that's what I want everybody to do. Thank you, Anthony, for that great introduction, and Dee Dee for the prayer, and Jocelyn for everything that you do here with this whole live streaming. So here we are in a whole new paradigm, in a whole new shift, streaming. And I'm honored to be here with BHS again, because I have been a speaker in person before, too, a few years ago. So thank you for that. And I want you to just feel like you're in my living room, or actually behind these curtains that I have. These are actual curtains, not virtual. Is my guest room. I've turned our guest room into my Zoom studio and work area, my office. Got rid of my physical office when the pandemic hit. So let's talk about business in the age of Aquarius. So to start off with, I am using notes. I want you to feel like you're in my living room or my guest room. So I'm using notes because we have a lot to cover. And each age or era is about 2,000 years long. So we are talking about a 2,000-year era just starting the age of Aquarius. And I want to talk about where we came from first. So we actually came from the Piscean era. That is what we have been in since 1810, around that time. Astrologers aren't really sure of the exact time, but around 1810, so that would make 2,000 years be 2010. So in 2010, we actually started moving into this Aquarius age. So 2010 to 2012, that's when we started to move into this. So we had a lot of change anyway. And what we decided to do is you're really starting to hear about the age of Aquarius now. And astrologers have used that point of last year's great conjunction, the Christmas star, if you remember that as the dawning of the age of Aquarius. We've been singing about this since the 60s. The age of Aquarius, that song, you'll hear that in your head. Dee Dee said, I hear that song already this morning. So that's true. We've been singing about it since the 60s. It's been happening. And now we are really in the beginning, the very beginning. And the Piscean era is male dominated. It's about control and power and the collective. Now we're moving into Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, and that is more individualized freedom, individualized reality, and love and balance and harmony. So that is not an easy shift for anybody. The whole planet, the whole universe is going through this. So, and it's exciting though. So, and you will see, and we see like things in the news and things that people in their 90s are starting to pass. And sometimes it feels like a lot of people go at the same time or very close, especially the people that are celebrities. Like we see, oh, this person passed, and in their 90s. When I look at somebody that has passed in the 90s, I say, yay, because it's really not that sad, because I have a different viewpoint of death. It's not a ending, it's a transition. So, and most of us in the spiritual world know that or feel that. So and a 90-year-old, 90 years, 80 years, that's a good life. So not always, but I'm just saying that a lot of times we should be saying hooray for them instead of, oh, it's so sad. So, and I want to just focus on where we came from. We came from that collective power and control and money and finances and male, and we're moving into female, and we can see this happening everywhere. And we can see this individualized reality and individualized freedoms coming in all over the world, not just here in the United States. Look at Brexit in Europe, in England. It's the same thing. People are getting more individualized. So I want to focus on another way is moving from male to female energy. That's a hard shift also. So that's why there's it feels like a lot of upheaval, a lot of change, and that's true. There is a lot of upheaval, there is a lot of change, because we just are beginning in this age. When we get to like being 1,000 years of being in this age, it'll get to be the norm. So what we have to deal with now is we don't know what the norm is. We don't know what our future is because we haven't been through it before. And I want to tell you that the only reason why history repeats itself is because we keep on focusing on it. And we even see some of our history, like statues and things, going away because it's time. It's time to look forward. In this age of Aquarius, we're going forward, and we don't know what we're going in forward towards or to. So we have to act like in the tarot deck, there's the card of the Fool. And the Fool, or the Joker in a regular playing deck, is fearless to take the next step. And when it shows up in a reading, I feel that it means you're a fool if you miss the opportunity. Okay, because the Fool card is actually about opportunity. So we have all this opportunity in our future here as we go through this, but we can't look back because we have not been through this before. Does that make sense? And I do want to tell you that you can ask questions, and I will get to them if there's time, and there is a little bit of a delay, I'm told. So if I ask a question, I would like some feedback from you, because I don't want this just to be a talking head, me to be a talking head. So, and we're going to have a breakout session afterwards. And I'd like you to stay for that because it'll be amazing. So we're moving from this male energy into female energy, and we can see this even in our politics everywhere, all over the world, not just the United States. Again, women are rising in power, which is great because they're going to bring integrity. Integrity is one of the words I want to use with this age of Aquarius, because anything that doesn't have integrity, that isn't congruent to who you are, what you want, and what you know is right for you, it will fall away. One way or another, it is going to fall away. That's why all this change is happening. Change everywhere, not just here, not just for you, not just for me, but everywhere, including the universe. Even the world and the climate we know is changing. Everything is changing. So it's an amazing time. And I just want to say that we're here to learn, grow, and expand, not stay the same. That's why things like staying in a job that you hate because of benefits of any kind is not going to work anymore, because that doesn't have integrity. We used to do that because that's what we had been taught over 2,000 years. That's what I grew up with. You get a job, you stay in it, but I have never listened to that. Thank you. So much to my parents' dismay. But I've had so many different careers, and when they stop or it doesn't feel right or it doesn't have integrity within myself, I leave. Because if I don't leave, I would have gotten fired or the place would have gone away. That's what's happening now. I was a little bit ahead of the curve because I am psychic and I can feel and know and sense things before they happen. And that even happens globally. So and also we want to turn to how it feels rather than by what we think. So if you're going to achieve something, the old paradigm in the Piscean era was, I'm going to set the goal and I'm going to go and make it happen and achieve it. In the Aquarian age, you're going to set the goal, and if it's right for you, you're going to allow it to show up, and then you can move forward. It's like you want to say, I am on the right path. I know and feel that I'm on the right path, and I'm going to allow it to unfold. I'm going to follow the breadcrumbs, you might say, and listen to that, how it feels, and watch, because now what's happening in the universe is that whatever we focus on, whatever we make a goal, if it's right for us, it's going to fall into place. It's going to be much easier, but it'll be harder if we try to go after it to get it. So that's a big paradigm shift for everybody, the world. We don't have to effort so much. We can wait. And that brings in patience. And a lot of us are impatient because we've had that instant gratification, because we get the knowledge so fast now because of the internet. We have things happening all the time that are so fast. And that when you have to wait, like waiting in traffic, it becomes so tedious for us or hard, and it shouldn't. We are going to find out how to bring that balance. So when we're in traffic, when we're stuck somewhere, we're going to feel into it and say, maybe I need this time to relax and breathe, take a moment for prayer, take a moment for meditation, because that's what's going to bring me more balance. And that's what the Age of Aquarius really is harmony and balance. And it's something that we need because for 2,000 years, we've been striving and going. And now it's more harmony and balance is going to bring in the success for us. So, and also in business, moving forward to a more female energy is meaning we're going to have to listen. And listening, when you listen to somebody, you can actually find out what is best for them, with your business, what you can sell them, what they need, what they might want, that type of thing, if we listen. So listening is a feminine energy. Intuition is a feminine energy. I've always had this balance of male and female, I felt within myself, which is wonderful. And I've always been able to say, I can listen, I can feel. And a lot of men were taught not to feel, not to listen. And so that's why moving from this male energy to female energy is going to be a big shift here. And we're just at the beginning of it. And I want you to look forward. I teach my coaching clients to look forward, not back. You don't want to be beating yourself up over what happened in the Piscean era or what you did or how you acted, because that's not going to help you, because that will create more of that in the future. You want to look at, this is a whole new paradigm shift. We're going to be moving forward. And I will tell you that this is an amazing time for entrepreneurs to start businesses. Yes, during this pandemic is really throwing us into this field of being individualized and having our own reality. That's what we're seeing. And when we move out of the pandemic, which I feel intuitively, we have another 5 or 6 months still. So look at it as I have 5 or 6 months to really get my business to a place where I can feel comfortable with it when it's like this and when I'm moving forward. And moving forward might mean you may want another brick and mortar office, or you may want a retail store. So I'll just tell you a little story about a client who started with me right before the pandemic, and we were focusing on what she wanted to do. And she wanted to bring community together through a coffee shop and a gift shop. And what happened when the pandemic happened and we were put in more to go inside, told more to go inside, is I helped her to pivot to online first instead of the brick and mortar business. And now she has a thriving online business and a following, so that if she decides later on, when like next year, when the real estate in offices and businesses and retail will be really good pricing, she may want to do that, and she'll already have a following. So take this like next 5 or 6 months to do that, to build your following, to build your business, even if you're not in the business the way you want it to be yet. Does that make sense to you? Like, you want to take this time to really work on your businesses and grow them in any way that you feel, I say feel, not any way you think. That's the old Piscean era. I think I want this. No, I feel that I want my business to look like this within 5 or 6 months. So that gives us that time and that patience. Like, patience really is a virtue, especially now, because we want to take the time. Time is a man-made construct. So now we get to kind of mold it and use it. Another thing I want to talk about is it's interesting that the game of Monopoly has changed over the years, and they have all different versions of the game of Monopoly. And I want to tell you that they are visionaries, the people that are in the Monopoly world, because they're changing it to bring it up to the new eras, the new ages, and the new generations. And what they did in 2018, they came out with a Monopoly game. I'm just going to show you this here. It's called Monopoly for Millennials. Can you see that? Let me make sure you can see it. Anyway, it's Monopoly for Millennials. And when that happened in 2018, when this game came out, we thought it was awful and it didn't really sell because it was too early. They peaked too early on it, because the millennial monopoly is not about gaining money in real estate. It's about gaining experiences and helping others to have experiences. Isn't that interesting? Because that's where we're headed. Experiences are more important than finances and real estate, which is a whole new ball game than that we come from, like the original Monopoly game. And now this millennial Monopoly game is hard to find because it's very popular now. They just peaked too early at 2018. Now in 2021, people are looking for that, because that is what we taught our millennials. And when this game came out, we thought, oh my God, what did we do? Because that's not how the world is made. But it actually is moving towards that. Experiences and feelings and harmony and balance is more important than power and control and money. And you can even see this happening all over, because our money, the way we exchange money, and our money in itself is changing. So it's an amazing time. And we need to just look forward to what we want in this new time. Thank you. Somebody put in that it was interesting about the Monopoly story. It is interesting. And even that word monopoly. So we have like this time where we're not going to be a monopoly anymore. We're going to be more individualized. And that's great for entrepreneurs. And I want to tell you, as an entrepreneur myself, we need to find out in our business, ask that question. What's going to bring me more balance in my business? What's going to bring me more harmony in my life? And if we do that, you'll find that it makes sense for you within your soul. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. If you're not supposed to be doing something, it's going to show up now and it's going to feel awful. It'll feel that you have this inner conflict, and we don't want that. We want inner harmony and balance. So I want to tell you about your business. And as an example, I'll tell you about mine. This is a good time to hire other entrepreneurs to do the things that you don't want to do. So I just decided I love Facebook, and that's what I chose out of all the social media apps and things, I decided to focus on Facebook on one instead of being scattered on 5 or 6. And so I really have mastered what I feel for me, the success of my business on Facebook. But now things are changing. There's new things. There's TikTok. I don't even understand it, but I'm on it. There's Instagram. There's all these things. So I decided to hire another entrepreneur, a social media expert, to do all my other social media for me. TikTok, all that stuff. I supply him with the videos and my content, and he puts it in, and it's really simple for me. And I hired him to do this. I get to write it off as a business, and he gets new business. So I'm helping another entrepreneur. This is a win-win situation. You want to look at that for your own business, and it frees me up to do more readings, to do more coaching, and to have a better life because I'm not focusing on something I don't want to do. That is part of this Aquarian age. We're going to be more in harmony, more in balance, and we're going to help others through hiring them, other entrepreneurs, because it helps everybody. So I only have a couple more minutes, and I want to say that another thing is this pandemic has put people inside and more individualized, but we come from a collective consciousness, and we've been working on that for 2,000 years. So you may notice that people, when you interact with them out in the world, they will be feeling lonely. It feels like they're lonely. Everybody wants to share. Everybody wants to be heard. So, and this is true. So when you see your business, when we come out of this time of being within and inside, and we start to open up and we can travel more and things like that, realize that your business is going to interact and be more successful if you hear people and you listen. I went to the post office the other day to send off 6 small envelopes, and it took me a half an hour, not because there was a line, not because it was too much for the person to do. The postmaster wanted to talk to me. She wanted to tell me about the weather. She wanted to tell me about how COVID's been for her. And she told me about her life. So a half an hour, like she wanted to share. And I took that time to listen, even though I was busy, because that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to say, okay, I'm going to take time to do things, take more time, more patience to do things, because it may take longer because we're going to be listening. That's a different shift from not listening and just going after something. So that's the Piscean era. The Aquarian era is listening. And then within our businesses, we'll know what they need, know what we can sell them, and know how to approach them. And somebody, Holly Duckworth, just said, thank you, Holly, said, yes, totally. Already experienced that people need to talk and share. Yes, and that's where we're headed to. So if you're not a talker and sharer, you don't have to be. You just have to listen. So I'd like to wrap this up with a few questions for you. And my questions are, I've got my notes on my phone here. 3 takeaways. I want you to ask yourself, what will bring a win-win situation in your business and in your life? And also, what will bring me more harmony and balance in your business and your life? And then what's my next right step to move forward in my business or life? When you ask that question, what's my next right step? You're going to sit back and listen for the answer, or you will get the answer. You'll either see it, hear it, or feel it. That's the way we're going to move through the Age of Aquarius. What's my next right step? Listen to your heart. And that's how we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. I felt like that was very educational and intellectual in how to get what we want instead of the age of male, masculine energy where we exert lots of extra effort to get what we want. We take a more passive listening approach and just trust that the thing will happen, and that it's just our job to listen and look for those breadcrumbs when they show up.
Yes, exactly.
Well, my light is a little blown out, so I look somewhat transparent, and I apologize for that. The next thing we're going to do is an interactive business networking meeting with Rick as the moderator. So I invite you to join us there. We're going to put the comments in, or put the link in the comments. Oh, sorry. There it is. Oh, you might need a space between now and the HTTP, but that is the link. You can copy and paste it yourself into the browser. We're just using Zoom. And if you haven't used Zoom before, it's really easy. And most people have, so I'm not going to give the instructions, but we've got instructions all over the screen. And this is where we're just going to break off into small groups and talk about this one-on-one. That's where we make the connections. That's what the members say is their favorite part about this meeting. And so I invite you to join us there. Rick, you've got the link.
Yes, I look forward to seeing you over there.
Okay, I'll see you there.
Thank you.